So I need all my ECU folks especially tapped in for this one. We were joined today by Destiny Zion. Yes, the Destiny Zion R&B soul artist. And while yes, music was definitely a resounding topic of conversation for this interview, we talked about a host of different things, from her really growing up in a church and how that propelled her into becoming an R&B and soul artist, to her being a perfectionist, to even her really putting out her first single, Cocoa Butter, way back in April. And just all of the support, all of the feedback, but really all of the grinding and behind closed doors work that it took. Because obviously being an artist, having a background in communication and journalism, it's not always the easiest path. You may not always have motivation. Sometimes you get writer's block. But for her mom once told her, look, if you're going to put 8 hours somewhere else into somebody else's pockets, into somebody else's craft and grind, then the least you could do is also work hard at yours. So while she may not ever force things, while she may come home and sometimes may not necessarily have something to write, she always works in some form of fashion to her grind. And what just happened just in time for the holidays, Ghettobells is out now. So find it on Apple Music, on Spotify, wherever you get your music at. Definitely go run that up and support her. But before you do that, or while you do that, also tap into episode 169, Lyrical Inspiration. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Another episode of the Down to Business podcast. I feel like it's been a while since I said this, but we got some ECU folks in the house today, man. I'm very excited to be sitting down. You know what's going on. We're very excited to be sitting down with Destiny, man. Somebody who has really been supporting the podcast for a very long time, even has hit me up on the side, provided some feedback, joined some of the lives, even have interviewed some of her friends. And I've even interviewed I've interviewed Monet. So Monet has sent me a few of her clients on here. So I'm very glad that I'm sitting down with her, because Destiny has been doing some great things, some things from the content creation space to the musical space to everything like that I've been fortunate enough to be able to follow along this journey with her. So excited to tap y'all into her, and maybe even, she'll have some new fans after this one. So Destiny, how you doing today? How's everything on your end?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I can never complain. Like I said, it's always good to be able to sit down with another creative, but even that much better when it's an ECU alum. So, for everybody out there, obviously we're going to have a lot of mutuals. We're going to have a lot of people tapping in that know a lot about both of us, but I also do feel like we're going to have some newcomers along the way, some people who probably know nothing about either one of us. So to bring everybody up to speed, to put everybody on the same page, can you, one, just tell us a little bit about yourself, and then can you, two, just tell us what brings you on the podcast today?
Okay, so my name is Destiny Zion. For everyone who does not know me, I am an R&B soul artist, and right now I'm just making new music and putting myself out there, branding and things like that. What brings me on the podcast, like you said, I've been supporting from day one, so it's definitely something that I've been looking and watching grow, and it's honestly just an inspiration and motivation for me. Like I said, I'm super proud of you and what you got going on. So of course, I love your storytelling, and I love everything that you're putting out, the content that you're doing and you're creating. And yeah, I'm glad I could be a part of it.
Come on now, I appreciate that. It definitely does feel good to know that people are resonating in some form, in some
Sure.
shape or fashion. So no, I really do like that. All right, so I really just want to get right to it. You already said it. So R&B soul artist. So where did, because you have to be passionate about this. You're not. I feel like with any artist, musical, artistic, actually like drawing, anything of the sort, it can come about in a certain way, maybe experiences or maybe upbringing, but it's something that you stick with because you tend to enjoy, you tend to resonate with it just the same. So where really in your life did R&B soul fit, and then how much of it really impacted you to really get to where you are today, so much so that you wanted to be an artist and really dive into those genres?
Right. So growing up, I've been singing for as long as I can remember. My mom said I started singing when I was about two, but yeah, I've been singing for as long as I can remember. I grew up singing in church, actually. My mom's a minister, my grandma's a pastor, so it just fit in, and I just sang. I played piano as well, so I was like the church musician. Um, so just growing up, when we learn about artists, we're learning that they're writing, well, most of them are writing what they're experiencing and what they're going through. And so far, that's what has led me down the R&B journey. Just talking about love, singing about love, telling my story, just sharing my experiences with love and with life. And that's how I got into R&B. But it's something that I've always wanted to do. I've always had a passion of singing, performing in front of people. I just really locked into actually writing because for so long I had that thought in my mind that I couldn't. And that was really because I hadn't tried. So when I actually sat down and I said, okay, this is something that I want to do, and I locked in with it, and I just been going for it ever since.
That sounds like quite the trio of women. We got a minister, a pastor, and then a
Ah!
singer. And then I'm gonna keep it here. But no, that's amazing. I even think back to my grandma and my upbringing in the church and how that really got me fond of like the drums. And my grandfather was a was the church pianist just the same. So I couldn't play the piano worth a lick, but just watching him and really even sometimes getting those lessons, kind of even secondhand type thing, it was very interesting. But I will definitely say that church, man, those that praise and worship, just that atmosphere, that aura, especially in what it sounds like you were too. It can definitely bring you, it can definitely keep you, it can definitely hold you, but it can also really help you and deliver you from a lot of things. As you spoke about, a lot of artists across many genres. Ultimately, they're talking about life. They're talking about things that they're going through. Sometimes it's exaggerated. Sometimes it's from a different perspective, a younger self, older self, past self, future self, everything. But the fact that that all can culminate and really be a piece of or a work of art in a sense, that's beautiful. So now you spoke about really moving towards that phase of locking in and really saying, "Hey, this is what I want to do. These are where my passions are lying." What did that look like for you from coming up with the name to, because people may not know the background behind the name. I just got the inside scoop behind it. But for coming up with a name, for really considering yourself a musical artist, what are some of those steps that you really took to brand yourself in that way?
So really, honestly, I've never liked the way my voice sound over um like a medium, like a communication medium, like a video on the phone, radio. I feel like people get the best experience live. And for so long, I had this thought in my mind, like, yeah, I'm gonna sing, because my mom stayed on me, because she's like, you have this gift that God has given you. You need to pursue it. Like, you're not getting any younger. And I'm like, Mom, you're right, but I'm going to when the time presents itself. So I wasn't really putting myself out there. So I thought, for some delusion is what it was. It was straight delusion. I thought I was gonna maybe run into whoever, A&R from a record label, and just find myself singing in front of them live. But I actually wasn't really putting in the work to get to that next level or do anything really musical. After graduating ECU, where I was performing with Diamond Production with Zoe, and after that, I just started working, career life, 9 to 5. And then after about a year and a half, it really clicked for me. Like, I do not want to be doing this for the rest of my life. So I'm like, this is really a great time to chase my dreams. And I've always had this mindset of like perfection in anything that I do. So for a lot of times, that was something that would hold me back from actually even putting stuff out. Is that I wanted to come out like Beyonce. Like, I know Beyonce had to grow into her, but I'm like, I want to come out the gate. So I wasn't giving myself room to grow. It was just like I wanted to be there, and that has held me back a lot. So when I say lock in, I meant I was giving myself time to grow. I was accepting the phase that I was in and knowing where I wanted to go, because essentially I know which version I want to be, but I have to give grace to my current version. And that's where I was at with it. And it happened for me, like I said, about a year and a half after getting into the corporate world. My mom, it finally struck, and I started putting out covers of just like singing my favorite songs, or like throwback songs and stuff like that. And then someone sent me a beat, actually, and I was like, let me see what I can do with this. Let me see. So I started writing to the beat. It was horrible, not gonna lie. The first song that I constructed was like, it needed a lot of work, and then I was just praying and fasting, because at this time it was November. So by December, January is when I wrote my first single that I put out, which is Cocoa Butter. And I put that out in April, because I was still that mindset, like I wanted to be perfect. And my mom had to fight with me about putting that out, because I'm like, it's not where I want it. It's not where I want it. But yeah, so long story short, what that version looks like for me, locking in, looks like just giving myself room to grow.
And that grace, like you said, I feel like Oh, the blessing and the curse behind perfectionism is exactly what you just spoke about. Is recognizing that to a lot of people you'll be there, you'll be amazing, you'll be doing things that they've never even heard of, and a lot of times it's because you're in a field and in a niche that they're not, or that they haven't really explored or exposed themselves to just the same. But then on that back end, it's just like, okay, well they're saying that, but I know for me what type of work I do, what type of what I can do when I really put my mind to it type thing. And if I don't feel like this is my best work or my work where I put my mind to it, I'm not going to put it out there. But something I really learned about myself too is that it's hard to grow from that. As you said, you have to give yourself room to grow, because if you're so focused on 100, well, what does 101 look like? What does 102 look like? And are there any variations to that? But hey, if you can say, okay, I gave 88, which is still great, is better than 87, but I can do 89, I can do 90, I can do 91 through 99. And then I can really still play around with that 100 and how I want to do that. And who knows, even within those 90 percentiles, like you start to do different things, you start to add different stuff that you wouldn't have done otherwise. But if you just so gung ho about that 100, you can miss so many blessings, you can miss so many opportunities, even more rooms to grow, because it's just like, I feel like within getting to where you want to be, you have to fail. You have to
Yeah,
take L's,
absolutely.
because if everything just came your way, if this process was just so predictable, it wouldn't really be as fun, or maybe you wouldn't really reap the benefits in the same way, or maybe you wouldn't really get down on yourself, or you wouldn't really be able to reflect now and say that the first thing I wrote, it was bad. Like I say the same thing about my first episode. I was in my garage, like I could hear cars in the background, which is why I mute myself now. So granted, I was only talking to myself for the first episode, so I had to
And
get,
that's okay. And
but
that's okay.
but it's all good. But I love that. And I love just the idea of what you said, how you were at a certain point and you knew where your mind was and what it was. But you had to take a step back. You had to even have people around you, that minister, that pastor, to really let you know, hey, like, Destiny, you on it. You're doing what you got to do. But I promise it can get better from here. It goes up
Right.
from here. So
And my mom always told me, like, for a long time, it's difficult really walking in your purpose and your passion when you're so gifted in other things. Like, being multi talented was also a hindrance for me, because it's like it was so much that I had my hands in that I didn't really know what to focus in on. So yes, I love my career as a journalist. I love my career in journalism, but my mom always told me it's your gift that's going to make room for you. So that's another thing that really, okay, this lock in. So yeah.
Mama know what's up. I need to know when the next service is. I'm gonna be I'm gonna be front and center at that altar. But no, that's right. And it's just like I feel like while a process can be a process, while trials and tribulations can definitely be met and be conquered, I feel like you just know when, if you know type thing. It's when that feeling just hits, or when you put out that work and that feedback you got. Because even for me, it was just like, I love what I do. I love talking to people. I can get on here and do whatever, talk to whoever. But it's certain things that people say to you, or that people resonate with, or certain points. It was certain things in an interview that people were telling me about that I was like, wow, I did the interview and I don't even remember saying that. But okay, I like that though. But so you never really know what somebody is looking for, listening to, why they resonate with you. You could help somebody through a struggle, through a trial, through a tribulation. Somebody could hear your story now, and now they look at your music in a totally different way. Somebody could love, because I'm not going to lie, a lot of what tuned me into you were these covers. You were doing some covers to some beautiful songs, but some songs that I love, some songs that were memorable for me. And then they were good on top of that. So it was just like, okay, like, yeah, all right, I could listen to this a few
Thank
more times.
you.
You know what I'm
Thank
saying? So
you.
yeah, no, so that's what's up. So I love that. Now, thinking about the road to the single, the road to putting out Cocoa Butter, man, that was just, it was very interesting, just from the branding to the promotion behind it to how everything really came together. When when you look at what you've done, how you feel, the perfectionist, everything in you, but also the fact that you're giving yourself grace, space, room to grow, how do you, I would say, not even really like compound, or how do you like double or one up this, but what is really next now that you've kind of had your feel with Cocoa Butter? You've gone through that process, you've gone through kind of getting, writing things out, putting a single, getting a beat and everything like that. Do you want to do more of that? Did that interest you? Do you have kind of other areas or avenues that you want to kind of dive into or move around? Because like you even spoke about, we started with the covers, now you got your own single. Are we moving kind of in a different direction now?
Absolutely. So now that I got the whole gist of putting out a single, putting out music, of course, like I want to amplify it. I want more. It's like I'm feeding, I'm itching, literally. But there's so much that goes into, music releasing. the promo for the rollout, all this, that, and the third. So of course I want more of it. There's definitely a lot more in the works right now. Another avenue I'm going down is my influencer. I'm trying to get in my influencer bag. Hello, friends. Hello. I need all the brand deals. I need all the campaign. I need everything. So yeah, I'm trying to go after everything now. Like there's really no limit with me. There's no limit to what I want.
I love that. Now, with that, I'll even kind of beg the question too. I know that R&B soul is really just big for you, and that's kind of what you want to do. And maybe you've even branched out, and we may not know it. So, but do you foresee yourself tapping into other genres, whether it be from a feature perspective, whether it be from something that you want to do? Do you see kind of, have you even talked to other artists? Or do you have your eyes kind of on any other artists that may not be in your set genre, but you feel as if y'all come together, you can make some music, you can make a project, you could put things together, promo one another, or maybe even help each other win in a sense?
Absolutely. So, definitely Christian. You know, like I said, like I grew up in the church. That's really where I found my voice. So, I'll never forget that. I always go back to my roots. So, I would definitely branch off and do Christian or do gospel rather. Um, and then I tell a lot of people like I just like making good music. That's just my goal is to make good music. I don't care if it's pop or rock or whatever. Like I just want somebody to, be impacted by it. And a lot of artists or a lot of things nowadays are like, I just want to nod my head. But I want my music. I want it to sound good. Yes, please nod your head. But I also want you to listen to what I'm saying in the lyrics because I just really want to be an inspiration for people. Be able to tell my stories, to like storytelling is what it's all about for me. That's why I'm a journalist. I love journalism. I'm just telling a story in a different way. So that's kind of my viewpoint on it. I just really want to make good music. Yeah.
And I'm low key glad you said that. Well, I'm glad you gave that whole answer, but I forgot to kind of give people the preface of a lot of our backgrounds and a lot of how we resonated with one another was due to our education and that we both studied the communication, the journalism, and everything like that. So Destiny was somebody who, even now that I think about it, when I was in grad school up in Syracuse, she would hit me up and just tell me, how proud she was of how inspirational it was and everything like that. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, like grad school was hard. So reading some of them messages and all of that, it really helped me. Like I tell people that all the time about my journey. Like if you tapped in with me at any point in my grad school journey, man, you were really a blessing and you didn't even dig it just because like it was tough. Like it was tough being one closer to home, but it felt so far, or it felt like I was in the middle of nowhere type thing because
Right.
Syracuse is literally like if it wasn't for the university, that really wouldn't be. It's like a Greenville, North Carolina, in a sense. So it was just thinking about that journey and what was really going on in my life in that time and just that background that we had. But no, for you, I also do think about one, just like you said, I love, well, I think we all just love good music, but I love the intentionality behind good music just the same. And I love that, a lot of times it's certain songs that, you just going to listen to for the beat or for the artist
Right.
or, the name of the song or maybe a time in your life that you resonate with the most. But it's that other music that when you throw on, you got to listen to that thing. We're
And
talking
that's what I need. I need you to sit in solitude and listen. That's what I want. That's the type of supporters that I actually want. I mean, it's good. It's great to be. I guess just to have people who listen to you just because you're dropping something, or listen to you just because you like the beat, or they like the beat, and that's essentially it's the beat that we need to. We need the beat. We need the lyrics. We need everything. We need the melody. But I want people to listen to my music. You know, so
all right,
that's
y'all.
important for me.
She said it first and foremost. So obviously with that, I think she's also letting y'all know that she has something worth listening to. And you can take it from me. She definitely does. So as somebody who, like I said, I play both sides of the spectrum. I play the side where before a party, you're just trying to turn up real quick or before you go out. Or sometimes in the morning, you just need to pick me up or something that's just going to get you up and down. But I play them other times where I really just want to listen or I want to hear some things or I play a song. You ever just played a song and you could listen to that song so many times, but something stick out to you next time. Or you hear a lyric and you're like, oh, wow. Or maybe it's a double or a triple entendre, and now you put the other part of it together. You're
Right.
like, oh,
Yeah.
wow, like, this could mean two totally different things. You know what I mean? So I love that, but I love that you're approaching it like that because it also goes to show just the effort, and not to say that anybody who doesn't have the lyricism behind them or doesn't really make music for the lyric perspective is not still perfecting the craft, still making things happen. But I think it takes a different type of person when that's something that you really hone in on and really making sure
Right.
that people have a message behind it. Because ultimately, like you said, you're talking about life experiences, things that are on your mind, things that you're going through, things that you're thinking about, things that you went through, that you've gone through, that you've experienced. So I also say all of that to say, because it kind of piques my curiosity a little bit with hearing everything that you did with Cocoa Butter, like you said, from the rollout to just the promotion to just the photo shoot itself to really tying in Palmer's to the actual song itself and really getting that brand activation and getting that brand
Come
because they
on,
was they noticed they noticed you, man. So that's really what I'm getting to. But I also recognize that look, when you put that type of when you stay steadfast behind something like that, a project, a song, a single, whatever, it's something that's just innate. It's in you. It's not anything that you just faked the funk for and made it happen. This, somebody tapping into you for the first time now, they hear kind of this journey and then they go listen to that song and then they see the content behind it. They're like, oh, wow. So if she's doing that for a single, what's she gonna do for an album? What's she gonna do for another single? So I say all of that to really say or ask you in a sense, what really kept you so dedicated? Because I know that was hard. I know it was hard to just get things together. I know it was times where you probably weren't feeling maybe motivated to promote it or to repost it, but then you do everything, you put it out there, and you got such an outpour of love from people reposting you. I thought it was your birthday one day. I'm not gonna lie, when people it just kept coming, because everybody got the real long story on the birthday. I'm just like, nah, this is really the song. This is really the special. So how did you really what was really well, you kind of already told us the process was like, but I would really say what kept you motivated and driven to really do everything that came with the Cocoa Butter rollout. And now that you kind of see what happened from it, from just Palmer's to just the love that you got to everything like that, do you feel like you will still continue to keep this momentum through your singles, your projects, features, anything of the sort?
Hopefully we can keep that momentum going. But honestly, what really kept me motivated with the process of rolling the single out is because I had a show to do for ECU. It was Tuesday's concert and with DJ Spiff and Spiffy Jake, and I was like, I need to perform my single at that show. That'll be great promo. So that's kind of what pushed me to, keep going even when I didn't feel like it, and also just the love that I have, for the craft itself, just working. And I remember literally staying up to 4 a.m. Just writing lyrics. Because when I recorded Cocoa Butter, I actually recorded 2 other songs. So I recorded 3 songs in the studio session when I recorded that one song. But like I said, speaking with Spiffy Jake, who is another artist for those who don't know, he was like, no, Cocoa Butter is the one. And then just, I got feedback from other people, the engineer, Kelly Bangers, Dre of the East. He helped me with Cocoa Butter. So yeah, all those good people, and just hearing their support and their feedback for the single itself, I was like, okay, we putting out Cocoa Butter. But what really gave me ideas and stuff for promo is because I use Cocoa Butter. It's not a front. It's not just lyrics. I've been using Cocoa Butter my whole entire life. I actually wrote the song, like the hook of the song, I wrote it when I was putting on Cocoa Butter. So I was like, oh, I think that'll sound nice. So I had this whole vision in my head before I even went into the studio to record the song. So, and then just having that deadline that I needed it out by is something that helped push me to get it out. I definitely enjoy every bit of the process, though. I enjoyed the photo shoots because, I did some modeling. So photo shoots, I was like, yay, me in front of the camera again. So, yeah, I enjoyed the whole process of it. But that's what helped motivate me, was the show that I was going back to ECU to do.
A deadline will definitely
Come
keep you
on,
up.
we know it as journalists.
Listen,
A
woo, cannot
deadline,
miss
we got to
deadline.
get
Hey,
it done.
Hey, that's traumatic, right? Them words are traumatic. But no, I love it's something that I've really learned to in talking to a lot of the people who you name, from Spiffy to Dre of the East to I've never really I've talked to Kelly Bangers in past. I know a lot of his work though, and ex Brody, Jeter, everybody. Something I love about the community, especially the North Carolina local music community, is just how supportive y'all are of one another. I see a lot of Dre of the East. First, it really for me, it was really the Dre of the East and the Brody things, and then I'm seeing Sonny the Man on my side working with Brody, and then I'm seeing Jeter and Brody, and then Jeter, and then different. Because I'm always tagging them too. Like whenever they ask for people, who could you see on this or who could you see on that, I was trying to keep it local, but to really hear that too during this process for you, just getting the feedback from them and them hearing that, that's amazing. Just the same. So because they're respective in their own crafts and they're doing what they do just the same. Especially Dre, man. Dre is really making weight. We were actually supposed to coordinate, so I'm calling Dre out on this episode. So I
Dre
don't really
is
know what
great.
happened.
He is
Maybe
great.
it was
Really,
yeah.
he's helped me so much. I remember going into it because, like I said, I grew up singing in church and performing live, so I didn't really have any experience in the studio. And just finding placements, doing ad libs. I'm just like, what? Do what? And he's actually who helped me with the ad libs and the stacking and stuff with cocoa butter. So he was like, oh, I think you should do this here. I think you should do that here. I'm like, great, let's do it. Let's do it. But and he's helped me a lot just from that to now. I used to be in the studio with him maybe 3-4 times a week, just seeing his process because he would invite me in that space with him just to learn how it is in the studio and learn how he stacks his stuff, learn his process of thinking. Everyone has their different processes, but his is actually great. He's very talented.
Yeah, that man is a true masterpiece, man. From just how I watch him put together the music to how he promotes it. Somebody else who I just thought about too, like lyricism. Why Slade the Supreme. I
Oh
really rock
yeah.
with yeah, Slade is fire. I rock with him a lot too. But no, to have to like you said to grow up in one background, one upbringing, just one what you're used to in that genre, and then to really get exposed to, I still to this day I think something on my bucket list. I say it kind of as a joke, but I really mean it. Is one of the things that I want to do. I think I want to sit in on a studio produced album or a studio produced single, like from start to finish. An album, that probably take a little long, but a single like from start to finish, just because I feel like you really get to see somebody in their zone, the highs, the lows, the good, the bad, the edit, even. And I feel like too, for a lot of for a lot of how I used to appreciate even music too and think about it, I used to be like, dang, like he went in there and just made a masterpiece, not knowing he probably went through notebook after notebook single. Maybe what he wrote was for a totally different beat, but it just sounded better on this one. Maybe the engineer said, hey, let me do this. So I feel like once you really get in there, you get creative minds and everything like that. Because we were even looking at I was looking at producers and I was looking at Metro Boomin and I was looking at how when Metro came in, just what he did for a lot of artists and how I feel like he was kind of underestimated at first because he came in working with some big names and nobody really knew who he was. But when you saw the quality of the work, when you hear the ad libs, when you see things, I even just heard Young Thug's album. I didn't even know there was a Metro's version, but even hearing how Young Thug wanted to line it up versus how Metro lined it up, it was very interesting. And just to see there were even some songs added and everything like that. So I could imagine for you, one, it was an eye opening experience, but it was something like, wow, I'm really in my bag. I'm in my zone. So thinking about that too, I think about how in some form or fashion, in some capacity, you probably put effort towards your craft. 1%, you get better each day and everything like that. But what does that really look like on your end? And obviously probably no 2 days are the same. Everything like that is happening. But what does really a day in the life of Destiny look like? What does it really look like when, you want to be creative, you want to write some things down? How does inspiration come for you? What does it really, because I feel like every artist has their own process. Sometimes people hear things or they think of things, they write it down real quick. Sometimes you'll hear a beat and you'll just, ooh, I like it or something like that. So for you, what does that look like? What does a day in the life of Destiny really look like now that Cocoa Butter is out? You're thriving, like you said, you still want to create. You've been in the studio, you're getting more comfortable, and you're getting a lot of feedback from those around you.
A day in my life right now, of course, going to work. But once I get off, there's something else my mom told me. You can't work 8 hours for someone and then don't do anything for yourself, or put anything towards your dream. Because in those 8 hours, you're making somebody else's dream come true. So you have to set time aside to work on what you want out of life. And so after getting off work, I would come and I always try to put something towards, my art. Even if I just sit down at the piano and play a little tune, do some worship, or record a cover or just sing, do karaoke. That's really all my friends can tell you. They probably get tired of me. I never stop singing. Like I'm always singing something. And it's not even me like singing serious. I can just be humming something or we on the phone talking and I just sing. Like it's just something that I'm always doing. They probably actually hate me, hate talking on the phone to me because I'm always singing. But I always try to put something towards it. So even if I come home one day and I don't have any ideas to write, I don't really try to force it because I just feel like that's not how my work is best. That's not when my work comes, best. So if I have something that I want to talk about, I grab my notepad and start writing. And Zoe, Lorenzo, he's actually a great artist too, but he told me because he been trying to help me with this process when I was at ECU modeling for him because they knew I could sing, but it was just the writing part. I was like, I don't really know, y'all. But so he told me I do mine backwards because I write first and then I go look for a beat on YouTube or something like that. But he said he gets his beats first and then he starts writing. But anyway, I try to put something towards, reaching that artistry every day. If it's a verse, if it's a chorus, if it's just me on my piano playing, if it's just me listening to other artists or something. And also, I told you I was trying to get in my little influencer bag. With that being said, I have to constantly post on social media. Right now, my thing is TikTok. So just creating content for TikTok, whether it be get ready with me's or, doing some type of editing to videos.
I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, shout out to Zoe. I've actually heard some of his work too. He sent me some stuff on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully by the time this episode dropped, me and Zoe actually got a collab dropping. So it's not no music or nothing like
I
that.
was gonna say you do music collab.
Nah. I could just talk on the track. So like if y'all
Okay.
just
No,
need like
let me
y'all
grab
need
your
like an
information
interlude
and
or
let
like
these
a
people an
skit or
intro.
like something like that. Like I could give you some, yeah. But hey, I ain't gonna lie. Look, I done heard some fire beats. So if I hear if it sound right, I'll give you a little 16 or
Okay,
yeah, something
you
like that. So, no, but I love that because I feel like for as much as what people see, what we're posting, everything like that. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes. There's so much that we're after work. That's when I do all my podcasts. Aside from the weekend, my first interview can start at 5:15. I get off work at 5, so I have 15 minutes to, and sometimes it's less than that because they be early, and I be slacking a little bit. But sometimes it's less than that to really put you in a totally different mind or mind frame. But it also goes back to what your mom said. She makes a great point. You can't put 8 hours in for the man or the woman and not put it in for yourself. Not even, and honestly, it's way less than 8 hours a lot of times because you get off work at 5. Well, you still got 7 hours till midnight, but you're not getting off at 5 and diving directly into your crap. You still got to commute or settle down or get to where you need to be, eat,
Eat.
shower, everything like that. You know what I'm saying? So you still have a life to live. So you're even putting less time in, but just more dedication, more effort, more building of that craft. And that's why the grind just goes so hard, especially with content. Content is key, but it's not as some people tell me all the time, like, yo, you just put it out. Like it can't be that hard. I'm like, bro, it's hard. Like, you know how many takes I do, you know how many times I stutter, lighting ain't right, things. That's why I keep kind of moving my head over here too, because I keep seeing the light is
And
going
look,
crazy.
I've learned with that too, because like I said, being a perfectionist, it's like, oh, I stuttered, or I pronounced this wrong, or I don't like how that look. Now I just be posting. I'm like, look, I need to be posting multiple times a day. I ain't got time. If I pronounce it wrong, y'all know what I was trying to say. Let's go, please. Not too much, okay? Because y'all know what I'm trying to do.
That's that journalist in you too. It's just that I'm such a people call me I'm the grammar king. You're not gonna make a spelling or grammatical error around me. I do it in joking, but everybody kind of hold me to it. But it's that upbringing, it's that communication, that journalism style, that print, just everything. When you're writing for different mediums or presenting on different mediums, you have to present this way for print, this way for radio, this way for TV. It will really condition you to just think and operate a bit differently. So if you could have things your way, if you could just wake up and really just be living the life that you truly deserve, that you truly want, what does that look like? Are you a full-time artist? Are you traveling? Are you on tour? You got albums out. What is that? Do you have your own studio? Are you still local to where you are? What does that really look like if you could really have things your way and we move forward into the future a little bit?
Oh, moving forward in the future, I will be signed. Definitely doing music full time. Like I said, I love performing in front of people. So I would probably be touring, if not just doing shows, festivals, and things like that. Looking forward in the future, I would definitely have a song out with Ari. That's my girl. I love me some Ari. Fantasia, meeting with Jennifer Hudson. I love those singers. They're really like powerful. So that those are my dream collabs. In case that was your next question, those three: Ari, Jennifer Hudson, Fantasia. But yeah, it's just I would definitely be singing full time. That's what I'll be doing. Of course, I would like to have albums out, but um, what I enjoy most is performing. So maybe I'll have one album out and just perform my one album. But yeah, that's what it looks like for me in the future if I had things my way.
I love
That's
that. And
something I do.
I was about to say you better. Yeah, look, we manifest. We talk about a lot here. So even by the time this episode drops, like right now, y'all, we're actually physically recording this in August, but y'all probably going to be hearing this. It's probably going to be September. I'm not going to put a month on it because I don't know just yet, but it's going to be well into the future. So who even knows what you'll be able to amass and accomplish by that time? Even just thinking about, even you really, from me being able to watch you, me being able to stick up and keep up with the content, you've even put me on game today, just as far as a few things you were doing. Because yeah, I see you, but I don't see every single thing. You know,
Right,
just social media and all this nonsense that's going on. But just to really to have a deeper dive into your creative process and what you're really doing, what you're really thinking, it's been eye opening and motivational for me just the same. But to also just hear about all the feedback that you've gotten, all the love. Like I said, I see the love myself, but I just know even on a daily basis, even when you're moving and grooving throughout the day, that it's just a thing, man. So I really do love to see and to hear that. Now, so when it comes to big shout out to Ari Lennox, by the way. I
yeah,
love her. Love Fantasia and love J Hud just the same. But yeah, Ari got a special place in my heart for sure. So we're gonna bring that one to fruition. I'll be reaching out to her for the podcast. I've been trying to get her forever.
oh,
So we're gonna see what's up.
we're manifesting it. We're manifesting.
Absolutely right. Oh yeah, I don't give up. I don't take no for an answer for the podcast. But if we're
Let's
gonna,
hold on.
I had to,
Let's
yeah.
make that clear. We're not on that.
Just for the podcast, people start getting a little crazy. This gonna pop up in a clip 3 years from now, like he wilding out. Yeah, nah, this
Right.
for the podcast, y'all. But so I'm hearing like you performed at ECU. That's what you do. You have your own single out. Would you consider yourself a performer that you want to do, like you want to like go to different venues, go to different shows, tours, everything like that? Would you? And it's not. And I guess really I asked that question because I also think about while there are a lot of artists out there just in general. I feel like there are ones that we know that perform that are always on tour, always kind of moving around, and ones that kind of stay under the radar a little bit. That'll maybe tour here and there, maybe come out on somebody else's tour, anything like that. But for you, what do you really like to do? Do you really just rather be in the studio, make the magic, and then kind of put it out from there? Do you want to do the whole rigmarole of making the music, writing first, picking the beat, making the masterpiece, then kind of putting it out there, getting it out there? Do you really foresee yourself as a performer, like moving forward? Is that something that you like to do?
Absolutely, yes. That's my favorite part of it. Like, I fell in love with the whole process, of course, with writing and picking out the beat and doing the ad libs and stacking and stuff like that. I fell in love with that process just recently because, I just started writing music, but I've been performing my entire life, in front of the church, in front of high school, in front of fairs and festivals and things like that in my hometown. So I really just want to be able to amplify that and perform in front of a multitude of people. So if I had to pick what type of artist I am, definitely a performer, but I would say I don't have the resources at this moment to perform at the level that I would want to, of course, because when we talk about greatest performers of all time, Beyonce, Michael Jackson, like I can give you a little 1-2 step, but I just love connecting with supporters, connecting with the audience. I just love the anxiety before you get on stage, the nervousness. I just love it, and I always have from playing high school sports or just doing speaking in front of crowds, congregations. Like I love just being in front of people, being the focus point. I guess is it attention? Am I attention seeking? No, but I love performing. So yes, I'm definitely a performer.
Hey y'all, she said it, not me. I didn't call her that. So let the record show. Nah, but I think that's really cool, and I think it'll add more. It wasn't really until I did my first live event that I was just like, wow, like. Granted, I've always loved like sitting down with people, interviewing people, everything like that. Mondre in Syracuse, I felt like we were always on the cameras, everything like that. Did shows there, even worked a job that required me to be on camera once a week. So it was just like that was cool. But really, just when you sit down with somebody, when y'all right next to each other, when you got a crowd that you were looking out into, when you got music playing, atmosphere, people eating, drinking, hookah, whatever, like it was like, wow, like, oh yeah, I done brought my A game for everything I did, but this is just a different. It's an A+ game today,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So it was that performing will really have you hone in and look at the craft in a very, very, very different perspective. So I love that, man. But kudos to you because that's not easy. That's not easy to just get up there and just be like that. You know, I could have a bad interview or bad points in the. Well, no, I'm not. Here, I'm gonna say this. I'm never gonna have a bad interview. I could have points in it. That's just it's too. The interviews are too long to just the whole 40 minutes we sat here was just bad. Like, nah, bro, I can't waste nobody's time for 40 minutes. But I can have bad points or forget things or whatever, like or whatever. But to have somebody go up there perform one song like or two songs or a set like that's different for me like that because
Yeah.
it's just like you don't get but so that song go by so fast or that moment go by so fast or that stage time or that spotlight or everything like that you don't get too many much more opportunities especially with people looking at you people quiet people singing along too people don't pay their money really to watch me or listen to me talk you know what I'm saying so it's not really a lot of pressure y'all can start paying though if y'all want
Let's put it out there.
but no, I think what you do it really requires just that much more mental fortitude and that focus too, because you have to hone it. You have to make sure that you're okay, that you're hydrated, that you're ready to go, that you know the venue, you know what you're performing in front of, everything like that. And even sometimes you got to add a little extra. Like Beyonce is literally touring back to back to back to back to back. What is she doing that's going to be different from with Charlotte? So, because I ain't gonna lie, when people Charlotte and Atlanta, I felt like I was at both shows. I didn't see the whole concert on Instagram, but it's just like they were two totally different things, and it was just like, wow, the fact that she had to get all of this together. People are going with, like you said, that's obviously a different level. But I mean, I'm gonna say it here: you're not that much far behind. Performing is performing. How you put a spin on it, where you do, how many people, anything like that. It's only going to really amplify as you continue to move up. So before we tell people where to find you, before we blast cocoa butter all over it, I honestly might even make that the outro song when I'm closing this
Come
episode.
on now.
Yeah, so we could do that. Just have it real lo-fi on the background. But before we get into that, can you, or not even can you, do you feel like there's anything that we haven't touched on today? Anything that for what you can disclose? We don't want to spoil anything or nothing like that. But I also do love to give the people just more of an inside look into inside scoop, and especially newcomers, because sometimes they may not really know where to start, what to do, what you're thinking about, what to expect for the future. Hey, I'm coming along. I'm meeting Destiny at this point in her journey. Her single's already out. She's already kind of moved. Okay, well, if she did all of that and did her thing with it, well, what can I expect moving forward? How do you get better? How does the perfectionist continue to get better and better and better? So yeah, do you feel like there's anything that we haven't touched on? And even I'll say too, in the same breath, if you want to leave any last words out there for business owners, entrepreneurs, artists, people who are really just trying to find their way in this world that we're living in.
Definitely. Well, first thing first, I definitely have something else in the works as far as music. And I should be dropping something for the holidays. I don't have a specific date at this moment, but be on the lookout for that. As far as anyone, business, dream, anything, just keep going after it. Fear is not, it's a figment in our imagination. It's really nothing can happen. And Dre told me, actually, this is who really helped motivate me. It's either you're trying or you're not. There's no ins and outs of it. It's either you're doing it or you're not. There's no trying to it. So just keep going after it. One step 1% every day, you'll get there eventually. And same for me. I'm speaking to myself now because I'm definitely not going to stop until I get where I want to be. And I just feel like a lot of people should go after what they want in life. And I feel like the world will be a better place. People will be happier doing what they want to do. So just go after it. Good luck to all the business minds. Good luck to all the creatives, everyone. I'm wishing everyone the best because we're living in a tough time. So yeah, definitely just go after what you want to go after. The world is ending, guys.
Come on now. Amen to, well, not to the world ending, but amen to the,
The
we are
we're in
living.
the last.
We are though, very much so. It's going crazy out here. I don't know what's happening, man.
Look, just go after what you want.
I'm telling you, I read the news every morning. I get it to this. It's this thing called the skim, and really just to see so many things happening in so many different parts of the world, man. It's insane sometimes, but it's also letting you know that like the time is now. Like it
Right.
wasn't yesterday. It's not tomorrow. It's literally right. Like it's no better time than the present. So I love that I'm in the same way that you said you were speaking to yourself and to everybody else. You're speaking to me just the same because there are some days the 1% is going to look different. What you did yesterday, 1% to get better is not going to be today's or tomorrow's or next week's or anything. But all the matter is progression. And at the end of the year, can you look back on everything? And did you get 365% better? Did you get 360? Did you get 180? Did you get half that? What were you really doing when it was all said and done? Because it's always going to show. So no, one, thank you for that. Thank you for just everything. One coming on my platform to give me flowers. Like I'm always kind of so humbled by that because it's just like, bro, you could have came in here and talked about anything else, and you want to talk about me. Like, nah, we don't have to do that. But I appreciate, just like I said, you were really tapped into my journey before the podcast even started, and just all the support, all the love that I got, and really how we were able to resonate just from the educational background. So really to be able to see you really where you are now, and I'm just excited. The sky is really, it's the floor for you at this point. You're just going to keep going up and up and up and up and up. It's limitless. So from Cocoa Butter, who knows what the next album is? A Palmer's, if y'all listening,
Come on, Palmers.
keep her in the deal now. Like let's
We
just get
need
it
that.
what we gotta do. But no, from us to you, we're definitely giving you all the love, all the support, whatever we can do to kind of help the journey along the way. Please never hesitate to let us know. But obviously, last and certainly not least, arguably the most important thing to do, we need people want to find you. So give us everything you got, from as far as like tapping in with the music to social medias, any websites, anything that we can do, all things Destiny Zion, just so that we can make sure that we got you at the forefront.
So music, I'm on all platforms, all major streaming platforms. Destiny Zion is the name. Cocoa Butter is my only single that I have out. I am featured on some other artists' music. Um, Instagram _Destiny Zion, Twitter same, and TikTok, Facebook Destiny Zion. So all social media Destiny Zion, music Destiny Zion. I don't have any websites out. I'm on YouTube, Destiny Plus.
All right, y'all. So obviously we're gonna include that in the bio, but show her some love. Let's tap in along the journey, and obviously y'all better get to her while she got this one single out now, because once the EPs, the albums start
Aww.
going and flowing, she's gonna be too big for the podcast, y'all. I'm gonna have to start reaching,
Never too big. I always come back.
or I'm gonna have to start reaching out to Ari and Fantasia and J Hud. I'm gonna have to get to her. You know what I'm saying? So nah, but from me to you, like I said, thank you just so much. Definitely just wishing you all the best, all the success. Keep it going. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep being deliberate and intentional about you and your craft, though, and keep just getting 1% better. And to everybody, who taps in from the podcast side, whether in any capacity, you coming from Destiny's side, you're coming from my side, you're coming from your own side, and you just found the podcast. So we love you. We appreciate you. This has been another episode of the Down to Business podcast here with Tamar Turner.